What is up, everyone? On our play for this week, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom breaks Nintendo's record. Is GTA 6 coming out next year? Hmm? Mortal Kombat 1 DLC characters leaked. Are your old favorites coming to Mortal Kombat 1 to fight for the very first time as a sequel? Then we give our first week impressions of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and PS5's free ish exclusive Humanity. All this and more on Season 7, Episode 20 on Press X to Start Gamers Digest. It's gonna do the thing. It's gonna. I'm gonna hit. What's up, everyone? I'm your host DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka I can hear myself in my ear and it's kind of throwing me off. I am joined by.
On MF Ross.
What does the EMF stand for?
Did you know that thing you're experiencing right now is a tactic they use to mess with protesters?
Really?
Yeah, the police or the authorities have like a device that will like play back their voice like a few milliseconds after you say something, and it really like is disorienting to people when they're trying to protest and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if
fact.
all like the podcasters are just like nothing new to me. Continue the protest.
I don't listen to myself anyway.
Right? Last up but not least up.
Hey everyone, it's me, Avery.
Nailed it.
Bada bing, bada
Consistent,
boom.
as always. Now you know who we are. Press X to Start Gamers Digest is a video podcast that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We hope you're hungry. We are live on YouTube every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is right now. Actually, it's 3:05. Doesn't matter. It's right now on YouTube.
305 till I die. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No need to apologize. Don't forget, though, you can support us by liking the video. You hear that, Sean? You can support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell.
Yeah, asking a lot there, fella.
I'm already doing what I'm doing, you know? If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast service you are tuned in on. If you want to join our conversation, you can join by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Before we jump into
link for the Discord will be in the video.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. From now on going forward, you can't say that you don't know what the link is because it's right there. You just click on it. You might have to like Control C on that. Anyways, I'm not sure. Yeah, no. YouTube does hyperlink. Or
Avery's disappointed in you.
I'm just disappointed in that we've had this Discord for how long, we've made it open for how long, and it took me leaving and then coming back into the Discord to realize, the only place to find our Discord is the website, which we don't even link to. We don't even tell people to go to.
You have a point. And we have
very
rectified
exclusive.
That. Right?
Club. You can only get in if you can find us.
Not even we know. All right. Before we jump into the big things that happened this week, we have a couple announcements to make. Check out our Overwatch 2 conversation with Marcus and Avery as they talk about the current state of Overwatch and the future of it. Now that a big thing has happened and the PvE is no longer going to happen. The other thing that's going to happen in the future, our future state, is we're doing a live reaction of PlayStation's showcase on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Again, Eastern Standard Time, because that's where we live at. So check it out. We're going to be there. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be watching. We're going to be hopefully awestruck. We're going to be impressed, hopefully. And hopefully we all have a good time. Even if we don't, we'll still have a good time. So make sure you're there to have a good time with us.
Have your tissues ready.
Oh, it's going to be waterworks, hopefully.
Yeah, water.
That took me longer than it should to get. Anyways, with that being said, let us jump into the gaming news. Avery, now what's this about number one?
Oh yeah, so this is major breaking news. This is a story from VGC, as written by Tom Ivan. Xbox has cured cancer. The title is a little bit misleading, but the body of the statement is that the Microsoft Corporation has used their technological know-how and their vast wealth of money to actually cure cancer. Now, the funny thing about this is from a little addendum from Jason Schreier, that the cure was actually on Phil Spencer's shelf the entire time. He's just been sitting on it for so long. So like,
That's
it's
some
I
bitch.
guess the W that they serve because they cure cancer, but like still, why did it take so long to get the cure into people's hands?
That's
This is a
that's because they're spending all their money on that ABK acquisition.
heads up. This is a fake story. This is just general response to a little bit of criticism I've been getting from my Xbox takes as of late, and I will just double down on it and like, hey man, Xbox, if you want me to be a fan of your console and not think you've been doing dog shit for the last 10 years, step up and stop trying to spend money to solve problems and just make a fleet of really good games. A lot of people don't know that I was an Xbox gamer for the beginning of the entire PS3 generation, and I just decided, you know what? I hate this controller. I don't like this UI, and you can't keep releasing the same 3 games and then have me be excited for your content going forward.
You will play Halo 21 and you will like it.
Yeah. But our actual first story, we're gonna turn to the DJ because I have no idea.
All right. The first story, well, number 2, but 1, is that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom breaks Nintendo's records with $10 million in sales in 3 days. This is insane, but not really insane because of how well Breath of the Wild sold. So there was kind of an expectation to this, but then there was also just a cautiousness to, all right, well, the first Breath of the Wild was really good. Everyone loved it. Let's not assume that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be like amazing as well. But to see that it's hitting $10 million in sales in 3 days is insane. In terms of like the stats for this, to compare to other games that was sold this year, Hogwarts Legacy was the biggest selling game so far. And according to figures from market research from GFK, this title, as in Tears of the Kingdom, has sold 54% higher. So this is on track with being like
Hold on,
a
Zelda
huge
sold
success.
more?
Yeah, 54% higher. And in terms of its track with how high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
bonkers considering that this is only on the Switch.
bro, like we're gonna I have impressions for Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm gonna be talking about that later on. But like to see that it's selling so well, and
Mhm.
then there's just like from what I've played so far, I have no crashes, which I can't say the same for Star Wars. And like everyone, like all the fanfare about this is just like the different things you can build. Like it's just completely swept social media. And it's just like they did it again, man. They did it again. And then this game, for it running on the Switch and what it's doing, not really having any real hiccups other than like the performance stuttering here and there. It's just it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing how well developers can work when they're giving funds and they're actually
I just want to throw some
good.
numbers out there.
Go for it.
Granted, Hogwarts Legacy would have sold more if there wasn't all that boycotting and
Right.
tomfoolery going on. 10 million copies for
Wait. Just to get to what Avery is thinking. If J.K. Rowling like didn't have her stance, like
wasn't a jackass.
yeah, like if she didn't have her stance,
I think the game sold. The game sold astronomically. I think it selling this astronomically with the level of fervor the game had against it. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily think that the quote unquote boycotts did anything to the game.
You don't think it would
true.
still match Zelda?
But well, I don't know about matching Zelda, but I think it would, like, for example, Avery, you would have bought the game.
Yes, I would have probably bought
Yeah.
the game day one at launch, but I do think that if I'm being realistic, I am
Mhm.
part of a very vocal
Small.
minority
Yeah.
that actually held to my principles in terms of video game purchases. And I do not think, based on my general landscape of the video game audience, and especially the wider video game audience, if not permanently online, that there would have been any substantial change to those numbers.
That's a good point. Yeah, so, this is amazing, but at the same time, it's kind of expected for this AAA game coming from Nintendo. But I think the biggest thing is that for the development of Tears of the Kingdom, they brought Monolith in to actually help with the whole open world thing. And that was the main critique that everyone was giving Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was
Mhm.
how bad that game ran and just all the performance issues it had and all the bugs it had. So, and that kind of feels like a weird thing where do we really blame Nintendo for that, or is it a Pokemon Company Game Freak
I
kind
think there's
of
a
It's a column A,
issue?
column B situation. I 100%
Yeah.
think that the Switch is 100% holding development back, but I do 100%
Oh
think
yeah.
that it is 100% Game Freak just not being equipped as a developer to make to have their ambitions meet the hardware and have their ambitions meet expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. So, props to Nintendo
Zelda.
devs for
Yeah.
getting this out. Yeah, props to Zelda.
What I was gonna say was, so they sold 10 million copies. That's about $700 million in 3 days.
Is it 10 million copies or just $10 million? Because
It
I thought
says
it
10
was.
million units,
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're okay.
which is it's about $70, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first $70 game.
Now, granted, this other title was multi-platform, but just to give you something to compare it to, GTA 5 sold 800 million in its first day and 1 billion in the first 3 days. So when GTA 6 come out,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit is
No, you're
gone.
you're right. Like that's like apples and steak. Like it's gonna be insane. Like GTA
I
6 is gonna be insane.
I
Like
think
that's
that's
gonna
gonna be
be
newsworthy when it comes out.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I even think that like Zelda is probably gonna end up being newsworthy. Like give it a couple months or so. Like this is
I don't see
really a
Zelda
monumental
hitting
thing.
mainstream news the same way GTA will.
Well, yes, I agree in that just for the fact that GTA has a special relationship with the news in terms of its violence and like carjacking, all that stuff. But yeah. Anyways, this is all great. Like bravo to them for making a game that I didn't really like the first one. I didn't ever jive with Breath of the Wild, but playing this, like I'm completely in like lockstep. So yeah, Avery, what is the next thing?
That's your problem. You should have been jiving. You should have been chucking. Go ahead, Avery.
What?
None.
No, he's on to me.
Okay.
Avery's like, what?
Yeah. So our next story is a part, let's say 27 of the ongoing Microsoft and Activision Blizzard affair. We've got a couple of stories involving this, quote unquote, try and keep my bias about how I feel about this out of this story. We'll see. Anyway, our first story is from Rebecca Valentine. It is from IGN. China approves Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It's also coming in tandem with this story from Tom Ivan from VGC. The European Commission has cleared Microsoft has cleared Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Wow, my bad. Yeah. So both the EU and China, two big major markets, have come out and said, "Hey, we have no problem with this, and we're, as far as I can tell, haven't asked."
Wait, real quick. Sean, does Avery appear or sound like robotic to you?
Nah, he sounds fine.
Okay. Go ahead, Avery. Might just be me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So EU and China are two major markets that have approved the thing. So the big win for the Microsoft team and all they're working for. I'm interested more in the China. Well, there are a couple wrinkles to this. I'm very interested in the China merger, in that Activision Blizzard recently had a very vocal breakup with China and the Chinese market. So I'm wondering how these
Yeah.
how this is all going to figure in with now Microsoft taking control, if and when it takes control. And then right when the EU popped off and said, "Hey, we're approving it," the UK pretty much said, "Yeah, we don't agree with the EU. And we're still rolling very hard on us blocking this." So this is very much a thing where this is not going to be a thing where the UK is going to be forced into accepting this deal, but because everyone else is accepting it. It's very much a thing where the UK is going. Microsoft's going to have to pour all their money into appealing our decision.
But Microsoft said they would pull out of the UK. What does it even look like? Like, would Call of Duty be? Well, Activision.
No, wait. Clarify. Activision said quote unquote threatened that we will pull out of the UK if this deal doesn't go if they interfere with this deal. Microsoft
Opinion on it.
has made no opinions on anything beyond, I believe, one of their people saying that if this deal doesn't go through, we have ways around a UK blocking of us.
Sound like some blood is gonna get spilled, but whatever. We got ways around this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just at this point. I'm just like, okay, like just get to the end.
Wow.
Just
I mean, like,
imagine if they
You
pull
can
out of
really
the UK like with.
you can really hear the passion for the Xbox from this podcast right now.
I'm saying, like,
I
would
mean,
Call of Duty be black market shit over in the UK? Like, would
I mean,
Overwatch be black market?
they would just make a clone like that.
The
They'll do
Bobbies bust in your house because you're playing Call of Duty. Boy, there,
him
mate. What you
specifically.
got there in it?
I mean, theoretically,
Yeah.
I don't think how do I say this? Because of the way I think the world markets work, I don't necessarily think Microsoft could get away with here's a not made by us Call of Duty that we're going to release in the UK. It's going to be on Game Pass and everything like that. I fundamentally think they're going to have to do more creative things. This isn't China where they have such a closed ecosystem that they can just straight up get away with stealing other intellectual properties and just no one can really do anything about this. This is very much a thing where the UK market is so entrenched with every other market around it, especially the EU, even though the Brexit thing broke them apart, that it is going to be a more complex situation. There is I think, a situation where they can just get away with it by just not having any of those games on Game Pass in the UK. Because considering that the UK has big thing has been like, hey, we don't like your cloud gaming situation and we don't like how all of this is working around it. But we'll see.
We will see. All right. Now it's my turn. Hey, how you doing? You could do us a solid by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you do that, you will see that we are, in fact, live reacting to the PlayStation Showcase 2023. That's my title for it. There's no real title. That's what it is. It's a showcase for PlayStation happening this year. Boom. So we'll be live reacting. That is Wednesday, 4 p.m. The link will be in the description of this video that you're watching right now. So check it out. Check us out. Watch with us. I was going to say dine with us, but that doesn't work. Anyways, if you are listening, hi, how you doing? Do us a solid. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be appreciated. 4 stars, a little less appreciated. So let's do with the first one. Thanks. On the podcast service you're using or any other service that you're using, just do multiple. We'll appreciate it. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, just do all that stuff. Be greatly appreciated. Check us out. Check out the Overwatch 2 video. It's there. It's there for your viewing pleasure. Check it out. All right. Yeah, let's get back into the news.
Okay, cool. Speaking of Overwatch, we have a story from Tom Ivan from VGC. Blizzard has scrapped Overwatch 2's planned co-op PvE hero mode. Development on the PvE experience really hasn't made the progress that we would have hoped. It's a direct quote that we got from the Overwatch team. Earlier this week, there was a sort of town hall fireside chat by a couple members of the Overwatch team and Mr. X from the Overwatch League talking about Overwatch 2 and the future of its PvE. They pretty much in the middle of that, pretty much said, hey, the PvE that we announced with Overwatch 2 and that we've been showing off at events and previewing multiple times is no longer in development. We have ceased making it so that the single player mode for Overwatch 2 is going to go. A lot of people are running with the claims that Overwatch 2 is dead or Overwatch PvE is dead, and those are just misnomers that are just hiding the bigger facts, is that everything that was announced is dead. But there still will be PvE content in Overwatch 2. To what extent we don't really know. Like the fingers crossed hope is that the story and missions that they've been working on and writing will show up in the game. However, big thing is, will they show up in the game permanently, or is this a seasonal? Oh, here's that Rio de Janeiro mission that we saw with Lucio and everyone that we've been seeing forever. It's going to be only available for this season of Overwatch, and then we're going to move on. Or or we're just gonna get more and more modes like Junkenstein's Revenge or the recent Star Watch, which spoiler, Star Watch is a PvE mode that was released in the last season of this game that is essentially a PvE PvP battle mode similar to sort of slightly similar to Destiny's Gambit system, and it was, as far as I can tell, their first attempt at reusing the actual PvE content they were making into an actual product to sell in the live game. Their big thing was that as they were building the PvE, it was they realized that it wasn't shaping up in the way that they had, and they were also needed to focus on the PvP aspect of the game, the live service, and so they made the executive decision to just cancel everything. And then we
So
have an addendum. Yeah,
so with Star Watch, how was that well received? Like, did people like it?
I I didn't play it,
Yeah.
but the general sentiment that I heard from people I follow who like Overwatch was just like, okay,
Okay.
It
Okay.
is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, man. Yeah, continue. That was my only question.
okay. We have an addendum from Kat Bailey from IGN. Overwatch 2 director apologizes for canceling PvE hero mode, makes big promises for story missions. So this is essentially in response to the fact that the Overwatch team was getting a lot of shit for this thing. So much that like even if you were giving the developers bail for like realizing how big of a task they were being asked of to make an Overwatch 2, there was absolutely no positive sentiment about this thing. There was no silver lining really. There was just a monumental L. I'm pretty sure it probably caused a lot of grief specifically for the Overwatch team. So the director Aaron Keller came out and was like, "Hey man, we're sorry." To just further explain what what happened with this, and also to iterate that, "Hey man, future story content is coming." And while we've abandoned all of our PvE mode as we saw fit, all those systems and things we built for that are still assets that we can use to make more cooler PvE missions for the live game.
Will that
The big,
actually happen though? It's like, how can you believe them?
well, yeah, the
Don't
big
ever
thing there's
buy content based off of promises.
well, there is no buying content. Overwatch 2 as a
It's all
free to
free.
play
Yeah.
game.
If it
Yeah.
wasn't, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I I get what Sean's talking about. I still have a lot of faith in developers that who show me stuff to be like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt until you've repeatedly proven to me that you can't show me that you're trusting that I can't trust you. The Overwatch
Hmm.
team's in a weird place in that I don't trust them, not because they've shown me they can't be trusted, but just in you stopped making content for 3.5 years for Overwatch 1 and then showed me Overwatch 2 telling me, hey, we're going to be building this brand new single player experience within Overwatch, and then gave up on that for your live service game, which I stopped playing because it's like, oh, this is just Overwatch 1 except worse.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got nothing for them. Like, it sucks that it sucks for the developers who put all this time into the PVE content to have it just not be expressed how it was supposed to be expressed. So now they're gonna have to reconfigure some of this stuff to make it work for the different, events they have here and there. And it's just like this would have been such like a shining moment for that game to have the PvE content and just have everyone play it and have everyone enjoy it and just be like, this is what a portion of that demographic wanted. So it just sucks that it just didn't happen and we're just left to be like, man, this yeah.
I expressed this in my conversation with Marcus, but the biggest disappointment of this is beyond what I thought the potential for that single player could be, is that it's ruined. It's Halo Infinite Overwatch in that
Oof.
it's supposed to be a big like redesign and shifting of the narrative of the franchise and bringing in a bunch of new people. It's just going to be it's going to just fit in a space where the people who are really playing Overwatch 2 are going to be Overwatch players. And like its ability to bring in new players beyond the team going above and beyond and creating brand new content that just goes viral enough to get people to jump into their free to play model is not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Moving on.
Okay. Our next story is from BGC. This is from Tom Ivan. Mortal Kombat 1 DLC characters have seemingly been leaked by Amazon. So earlier this week, we got the reveal of Mortal Kombat 1, which is the second reboot in the Mortal Kombat franchise as a whole. It plays as a direct sequel to Mortal Kombat 11, so it's an interesting state that the franchise is in. If you're into that type of thing, the big thing that they show, there was a leak that revealed, from what essentially what was going to be the entire fighting roster, which is essentially as far as we can tell, the characters that were shown in the main trailer. So Liu Kang, God Liu Kang, Mortal Raiden, Kung Lao, Katana Milena, and then Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Then they announced early that Shang Tsung isn't going to be a playable character so much as one of its DLC characters. And then this leak happened, and we sort of got an idea of the entire roster. And as far as I can tell, that is it, unless they're hiding some big surprises, which I don't think they are, because we've got the entire DLC roadmap now leaked for it. So, like, I don't know what's going on. That being said, the big reveals is they're putting in assist characters into the game called cameos. And what this leak also reveals the list of cameo characters in the game, which also indicates that Mortal Kombat run into the Smash Brothers problem where, like, okay, if we put a character as a cameo, you're not going to see them as a playable fighter. And I think the biggest cameo that was revealed is Johnny Cage. So that tells you what Johnny Cage's place in this game is going to be. The leaked DLC fighters are Quan Chi, Omni-Man from Invincible, Ermac, Takeda, Peacemaker, and Homelander. So, yeah.
That's a pretty cool lineup. Like to see Omni-Man fight Peacemaker.
I got Omni-Man
Homelander
whooping Homelander's ass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I do really enjoy I'm gonna call it the cameo characters that Mortal Kombat tend to have. And like I think they do a good job at like pulling like from
Cameos
different IPs.
I need to clarify. Cameos versus guest characters are two separate things.
Yeah.
Omni-Man and Homelander would be guest characters. Cameos are literally like assist characters.
Right. I'm just using cameo in not the way that they're using cameo, but yeah, I should use guest characters because that I do like their guest characters. I think they do a cool job of having like now you get to play with Omni-Man. Like who would have guessed that Omni-Man would be in Mortal Kombat? He totally fits being in Mortal Kombat, but I would have never think of having that be the thing. So I think that's cool. My only issue, I don't really have an issue. It's fine. The trailer itself looks really cool. Like the first half is very peaceful. You have people just being people and just like celebrations and cool. And then the last half is just all blood. It's all blood, a little bit of bone, and some muscle. And
I wonder if they got a therapy for the developers, because I know they already had issues back on Mortal Kombat 10 X, whatever you want to call it.
So that's the one thing that I mentioned in our Discord chat is like this stuff looks, the fidelity of the viscera and the blood and the guts is completely astounding. And it's like devs had to sit there and just look at the most grotesque stuff to get references to figure out like how best. Okay, well you're broken, sir. But like to sit there and have to do that for like 8 hours a day, that's not normal. That's not healthy. So Sean talking about the whole therapy thing, like I really hope that NetherRealm and company has those services for the developers, because if not, like, man, that's just not good. But yeah. It looks good though. Like I say all that to say that. Say what?
Say I'm interested in playing it.
Yeah, I'm hopefully they have a demo, because I'd like to try a demo. Like it's becoming a thing of having a lot of fighters between like Street Fighter, maybe Tekken comes out this year, and then Mortal Kombat. It's just like I know for a fact that Street Fighter I'm decent. Mortal Kombat I am. The last Mortal Kombat I played like intensively was like Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
3. So it's not my bag at all. But yeah, I'm still interested in seeing this. I still really enjoy the fidelity of those characters and like the different story and stuff. So should be interested. Yeah. What?
Avery.
Avery.
Yeah, cool beans. Our next story is from IGN. This is from Rebecca Valentine. Take-Two's coming year includes 16 games, including a new IP from a premier studio, which has prompted a breakout from IGN by Rebecca Valentine. GTA 6 might be coming out as soon as next year. So yeah, Take-Two had one of their big financial calls, and they talked about how, hey, we're going to have 16 games coming out between now and next year, which is a lot of games for a third-party publisher. And one of them is a new IP from a premier studio. What that new IP is going to be and what studio is working on it, I don't know. It's possibly it's Ken Levine's new game Judas. I'm not sure, but one of the things that was extrapolated from this whole thing is that yeah, we are probably getting GTA 6 next year.
Yeah. So the the way that people are speculating GTA 6 out of this is that Take-Two said that they plan on making Take-Two reporter records booking today as past fiscal year reaching. So I think they plan on making 8. They right now they reached 5.3 billion and they plan on making 8 billion within the next fiscal year, so
That's
2024 or
crazy.
2025. So people are speculating, well, the only way to do that is to launch a really huge game that they know is going to sell. And that really huge game that they know is going to sell is GTA 6. So a lot of people that's where they making that jump to like GTA 6 is probably coming out next year. I I would love that to be the case. I I think everyone should be a little cautious in that they want GTA 6 to sell. So GTA 6 is going to be a huge game, and that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of testing, a lot of bug fixing to make sure it's a very polished experience, as polished as they can. And I don't think that people should automatically assume or should expect GTA 6 to come out in 2024. I think everyone should wait until a trailer, wait
11
until
years later. That's crazy.
wait until Rockstar's ready, and then they'll put it out. That way, when we get the game, it doesn't disappoint anyone, you know?
They're giving Zelda some time to breathe because that would have
Right?
just snatched the game
Hey,
of the year right
you
up.
make your little money. You make a little money,
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Mm.
But yeah, like this is because last year we had that. It was last year or earlier this year.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, in the
Time is an
past,
illusion.
yeah, in the short term past, there was a leak of the GTA 6 footage, and it had like a Bonnie and Clyde field where you can play at. I think from the leaks, you played as a female character, but you might be able to play as a male character as well, and you can like rob like restaurants and convenience stores and stuff like that. So with that, like that's a really interesting system that I don't believe has been in any real game. I guess other than like Payday. No, no. What's that heist game? Is it Payday?
Yeah, it's payday.
Okay. Yeah. So for them to be tackling that, like that's really, really cool. And I think that's also a revolutionary thing in the whole game industry. So that might be, I think they're fine. There's no cause for them to worry about making money. But yeah, I don't, I would love this to be the case. I'm just being a little cautious about this whole 2024 thing and Take Two not explicitly saying that this is GTA 6 coming out. So wait, hold your horses and see what happens, guys. So that's it. That's it. All right. With that being done and the news being over, let us jump into what we've been playing. And Sean, you know what? You can go first. You can talk about what you've been playing.
So Humanity came out. It's free on PS Plus. I'm not sure how much it costs regularly, whatever. But this is basically Lemmings with the power of the PS5, or rather next gen systems. Um,
Hmm.
at any given time, you'll see a couple thousand people on the screen just moving around. Whereas Lemmings, I want to say you probably had at most 15, 20. I don't remember. It's an older game.
Hmm.
You start out basically guiding them with basic commands. You could send them directions. You could tell them to jump. Um, they hit switches to like activate bridges and things like that. But what I read is eventually, you know, your people come into opposition, so they're trying to stop them from getting to the goal. And past that, eventually they get weapons. So this is basically Lemmings with a story. And surprisingly, it got a lot of high praise from places. I want to say like a bunch of 9s and 8s, and I even saw one article earlier claiming that this is the best new exclusive on the PS5. I'm like, wow, that's high freaking praise.
Excuse me.
He's showing the video right now. Like, yeah, all those people can be on there. It's also PSVR2 compatible, so you can kind of get a better angle on the puzzles and whatnot. You can also make your own puzzles. But basically, you're just using a Shiba Inu, to set down commands, and they have special people on the map called goalies, and every time you say one of those, you unlock a new ability.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So how much have you played of it so far?
Apparently, there's about 80 levels. I have done maybe the first, I want to say 20 to 25.
Okay. Oh, that's a good amount. Well, how quickly are the levels done or completed?
It depends on how creative you are about solving puzzles. So some shit might take you a minute or two to figure out what's going on. Others, you may have to replay the same mission because once the gold people fall off the map, you have to redo it. Not necessarily from scratch. They have a command for you to retry the level with all your like directions still on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I would give it a try. As I always tell everyone, if you got PS Plus, if you can, try out the free games. You never know what you're gonna like.
I believe this came out for this is the extra tier. You get it free on the extra tier. Because I got it free.
Possibly. Yeah.
But I don't think it's free for the lower common tier.
Wow, sir.
I mean, hey, common is better than peasant. You know what I mean? I didn't say peasant. I said common tier.
Hey, man. It's on the PS as well as Windows. So, yeah. Check it out. Got an 86% on Metacritic. I also don't want to leave you on a cliffhanger because last week I said the villain in Chia eats babies. He indeed and does eat babies. He was sitting on his throne high up in the sky. This thing is probably like floating in there a couple 100 feet, and he has like people in cages. He used telekinesis to pull a baby out of cage and eat him like he was a gumball, whatever. I don't know. It's the craziest thing. And your main character, Chia, I guess she confronts him. He says he's gonna kill everybody she cares about, and he basically throws her off of his platform. And I think this dragon peacock thing snake ended up saving her. It's a lot. And then like
that's not how that game started.
The tone of this game was very misrepresented when they advertised it when they first announced it, because I thought this was just gonna be a cute little girl, you're flying into objects and you get to just explore this land. No, this has a dark story.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, her father gets kidnapped by this villain's henchman. And I guess they're taking all the adults away, they're putting them in prison. And I showed DJ a clip from the game where you free your father from prison along with all the other adults. And the henchman that originally came and kidnapped him flies in on his helicopter or whatever. They pull the gate closed before they can run out, flies up in the air and drops a bomb on the complex. And DJ laughed. I'm like, no, everybody died.
I mean, that's horrible. The reason why I laugh is because we have done something similar in DMZ as we're leaving. We didn't have to. He didn't have to do that. But he did. And then we do the same thing, and it's like I understand the villain tendencies of like, yeah,
they about to follow behind me.
Right? What are you gonna do? Seek revenge? No, not today.
Yeah, like initially it looked like her father survived. He's coughing, taking his last breath, and then another character is revealed to you, and your father dies right there and then, and it's just like rough.
Yikes. So like have you beat the game?
I am maybe about 50 to 60% through.
How big is this game?
You're doing a lot of sailing unless you possess a bird.
Okay.
So you're doing a lot of running. Funny enough, it is faster to possess a rock and roll around than it is to actually run as a character. It's just the strangest thing.
She got no
Um,
stamina.
you have a lot of collect. The game itself is not long. It's more so the
Okay.
collectibles, and
Yeah.
some of the collectibles you want for like your stamina and stuff. They have stamina fruit and
Alright.
other little trials to extend how long you can possess things.
Are you trying to platinum it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
There's nothing greater than possessing an explosive and shooting it into the enemy's face and bouncing out at the same time. The next explosive, like you can chain this. It's the craziest thing. I just recently realized like there's a trophy for possessing something, shooting it in the air, and then possessing it again while it's in midair.
That's so interesting.
There's a lot of things you can do in this game, and I am not disappointed. But man, when they very first showed us this game, you got no hint of all this
Yeah.
darkness and violence. She was just possessing birds and coconuts and crabs and shit.
Right?
And yeah, it's an interesting game.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I, as I said earlier, have been playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I am about probably like 12, 15 hours in or so. I really haven't been focusing on the story all that much. I've just been kind of just bumbling around. Like I spent about maybe like 5 hours on the tutorial, like floating area. In terms of spoilers, I don't think I'm going to be able to spoil anything because I'm not like super deep into the game. I've just been doing stuff with the powers that I have. Uh, I will say that when you leave the tutorial area, you have Ascend, you have Recall, Ultra Hand, and Fuse. So those are the main things that I've been playing with. I absolutely love this game. And it's so weird that I'm doing this like 180 from how I experienced Breath of the Wild, and I found it to be like so just I just didn't like anything about I didn't like anything about it. I'm gonna be fair. I didn't like anything about it. I thought it was just slow. The whole like climbing everywhere, I thought was interesting, but the fact that Link's stamina was so poor, it's just like, ugh, I hate this. I don't.
You had
None
to
of this
build
is
it up.
fun. Yeah, exactly. You had to build it up, and I didn't really care about spending the time to do that because I didn't like the combat. I just wasn't having a good time with the game. So between that then and now, bunch of time, I've spent so many hours in Genshin Impact. More I'm more uh w-
Tolerant of that
I
style of gameplay.
yeah. That's the word. I'm more tolerant of like the open world experience than I was before. So jumping into this and just playing around with mechanics, like basically like what you were saying with Chia,
Hmm.
Chia, right?
Hmm.
No T.
Yeah.
Like having that creativity thing and just being like, okay, I can use these powers to like take hold of a TNT and throwing it in someone's face and then like jumping out and exploding. It's just like Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom gives you the tools to just figure out stuff. So I was running in the open fields of Hyrule. I saw this goblin camp
Were
of
you
like
running through the
three.
six with your woes?
No, well, I had woes in a matter of minutes, but before then, I saw this camp of goblins. I was like, all right, let me do what I do. Pull out my bow, start shooting them. They saw me. They sound the alarm, and their whole base just like shot up into the sky, and there was like this rock guardian thing under the base, and I'm like, bro, and it had a life bar. Like it was a Souls moment for me because
That
I
sounds
was just
interesting.
like, yeah, I was like, I did not expect this. I thought it was just going to be the three. I was going to do them, collect the chest, and just be done. No, I'm here for about 15 minutes trying to beat this rock boss because it is it. I'm dealing with the rock boss throwing its arms at me, which are just rocks, and then the little goblins on top are throwing rocks, shooting arrows, and throwing like fire bombs down. So it's just like a whole thing that little old me with 4 hearts have to deal with, and I'm
You
just
know, you could
like,
have just disengaged and came back, right?
nah,
Live to fight
nah, I ain't
another
no
day.
bitch. I ain't no bitch. No. So it's just me dealing with the situation. And it took me about 5 whole minutes of combat to realize, like, wait, I have these powers. So the rock guardian thing throws a boulder at you. So right as it threw the boulder, I hit recall, which is the reverse time power, and
Mhm.
it sent the boulder back at the
Mm.
guardian, and it like stunned him, and he like dropped to the ground. I guess he's already part of the ground. So he dropped to the ground, and I was able to climb up top and deal with the goblins up top. And then I saw like, oh, there's like this little rock thing. You hit that to do damage to it. And I think that's similar to the rock guardian things in Breath of the Wild. So I was like, oh, this is really, really interesting. And then like that was just one experience. I had another experience where I was just again out in the wild, just minding my business. I saw this other goblin camp and I was like, you know what? You know what? I think I can take them. So I run over there. I I had a bomb flower, attached it to an arrow, shot a bomb arrow at them. They had grouped up to like grab their weapons. I exploded them in pretty colors and fireworks. It was amazing.
Mm.
They didn't think that was amazing. So there was a goblin at the top, and that dude was like, "Hey, I could do the same thing." That dude threw a TNT grenade thing, put me on my ass. I wasn't dead though. I got up and he double tapped me. I was like, "All right, you know what?" Yo. I was like, "All right, you got me." So like the it is
It
mind
feels like you're
blowing.
discovering all new things again with Zelda, basically.
Yes, like, and it's one thing where it's like I went into this game like, all right, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna get as far as I can and like probably bounce when Final Fantasy 16 comes out. And like now I'm at the point where all I want to do is play this game. Like right now, I'm looking at the
Sorry,
time like
Shireen.
well, she got it too, but
Oh,
I'm playing it more than she is. But like I'm looking at the time now, I'm like, I got Gundam to play. I gotta do the dailies. But after that, I'm gonna jump into Zelda and then, whenever you want to run DMZ, Sean, I'm good to go. But yeah, like I'm loving this game. I recommend this game to anyone who has played Breath of the Wild, who hasn't played Breath of the Wild, who thinks, maybe I don't know about this game. Give it a try. As long as you're willing to sit and think about solutions, you'll have a good
mhm.
time in this game.
And
Like,
apparently Avery, they have rectified the no complex dungeon thing with this game. So apparently they have more traditional dungeons in there. I know that was one of our complaints with Breath of the Wild.
yeah, I'm not even far enough to be like, yeah, that the dungeons are like,
You haven't played any other Zelda games, Nico. Don't compare it to Hush.
that too. I mean, I played Super Smash Bros. That count, right?
The Zelda level on that don't count.
Yeah, I'm having a great time with Tears of the Kingdom. I just do it. Okay, if I'm real, the only critique that I have is the critique that a lot of people have in that you can't remap the buttons. The only thing you can do is change your sprint and jump button. And I did that and it helped me a bit, but it still gets a little cumbersome now and then with like figuring out what buttons to press when you're in like intense situations. But hey man, I'm having so much fun with the game that I'm just gonna figure it out. So
Mm.
that's where I'm at with that game. In terms of, I don't think there will be a review for Tears of the Kingdom because I don't know when I'm going to beat the game. So, I might talk
Yeah.
about it some more. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm
That's
gonna
it.
get that.
Yeah, it's a good time though. Good time. All right, that has been it for Press X Starts Gamer Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as you enjoy making it. Don't forget to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because we need your support to keep us. I was gonna say supporting, but that doesn't make any sense. To keep us going, that's what normal people would say. If you are listening, we would greatly appreciate you leaving us a review. on Apple Podcasts or the podcast service you are tuned in on. If you want to join in our conversation, you can by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Until next time. Actually, the next time will be us live reacting to the PlayStation Showcase 2023. Again, I made the title up. I don't know if that's the official title, but it's the title I'm going with. So make sure you check that out. Again, it's also in the description. All you have to do is just click on the link, and then it's going to be like, notify me when this thing happens. You just click on notify me, and it will take you nowhere, actually. But you will get a message come Wednesday at 4 p.m. when we are live and ready to go. So you can just click on that. You can watch the show with us. So do it.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. I got some Gundam and Tears of the Kingdom to play. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Avery. And that's it. We did it.
There's nothing else officially announced. Oh, you can stop it. There's nothing else officially